And Marianne Williamson joins us right now. How are you, Marianne?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Are you worried at all that TikTok is a spy mechanism of the Communist Chinese, like so many have alleged?
Well, I think that the surveillance from any tech company is an issue, whether it's an American company or a Chinese company. It's certainly an issue.
If you found out, or if the top security people in the country are telling you that, hey, you're using a platform that the Communist Chinese spy on us, would you take it seriously?
Well, I'll tell you something, Sean. The Chinese are spying on us in all kinds of ways. The truth of the matter is there are many, as in millions of young people.
If it's definitive.
I understand that, but this is where young people are getting their information. And I think that for us to deny that is kind of ridiculous. I think that whatever regulations we have on TikTok, whatever the government decides to do, I'd like to see them be just as strong in regulating American companies as well.
So I'm looking at your numbers, and you know what? 10% is not too shabby. That's a very respectable number. Just like Robert F. Kennedy's number, I think is at 21% is very respectable. I think it speaks to, combined, we're talking about 31% of Democrats don't want Joe Biden. That speaks volumes. So I started to do a little deeper dive into your positions. And, for example, you seem to want to eliminate all domestic energy production, or a lot of it, in America. And you said that no phrase has been used more manipulatively than national security. And you said our military madness has not made us more secure. It has made us less secure. And I'm asking you, to the extent that you see China, Russia, Iran as national security threats, and what would you have done if you were president and the Chinese spy balloon incident happened and the Russia taking down of our drone happened? What would you do in those two cases?
Well, I don't think that balloon should have gotten as far inland as it got.
What would you have done?
Let's be very clear here. Well, I think that should have probably been shot down over the water. I don't know why it was able to get as close as it got into U.S. territory.
But for the record, I agree with you. Once it was coming to Alaska airspace, I would have shot that sucker right out of the sky.
Yeah. But let's be very clear.
What about Russia? What would you have done with the drone incident?
Are you talking about Syria? Where are you talking about the drone incident?
No, I'm talking about the Russians taking down one of our drones.
Oh, Russians taking down one of our drones. Where? You mean one of our drones? What country are you talking about where they took down our drones?
It was a high-profile incident that a Russian fighter jet purposely hit and took down an American drone out of the sky, and Joe Biden did nothing. What would you have done?
It would depend on where the drone was. You know, we take down drones, they take down drones. This is not the big picture. The big picture is how the U.S.
It matters where it was. When Russia is going to take out one of our drones in international airspace, that's where it was.
Well, you just said in international airspace.
Well, right.
I don't know the case specifically enough to be able to comment.
I thought you knew the story. Okay. So what would you do?
I didn't know the story. Well, I'd have to. The story of Russia's taking down a U.S. drone in international waters, I wouldn't.
Airspace.
What do you want me to do? Like commit war against Russia because they took down a U.S. drone? You have to be careful with military matters. You can't just go around like you're a cowboy all the time. So if Russia takes down a U.S. drone, listen, we're dealing plenty with Russia in very important ways right now. But I think what's happening, for instance, going on in Ukraine is far more significant in terms of U.S. involvement with military matters in Russia than they're taking down one drone. I don't know any more about that case.
Do you believe the U.S. should have the meanest, toughest, best military with the greatest technology on the face of the earth for the cause of defending freedom? Because when you talk about the phrase, national security is used manipulatively, that sounds to me like you don't support national defense to the extent we have it.
You're absolutely incorrect. Of course, the United States needs a strong military. The way I see military is like a surgeon. If you have to have surgery, absolutely the United States needs to have the best surgeon. But a reasonable person tries to avoid surgery if necessary. 60 Minutes recently did an expose about the profound price gouging of the defense contractors towards the U.S. military. One of the first things I would do as president is to audit the Pentagon. We We know that we have a bloated military budget. We have an $858 billion military budget. And you know what, Sean? I do not believe that the Iraq War made us more secure. I do not believe that staying 20 years longer than we needed to in Afghanistan made us more secure. We have to learn how to wage peace. Donald Rumsfeld said
how
that.
would you wage
He said we need to
peace?
learn.
I have a test.
Well,
how would you wage peace and prevent the communist Chinese? They have stated their territorial ambition to take over Taiwan, our ally. How would you stage peace and prevent them from taking over an innocent sovereign nation?
One of the things that we need to do with China is to be careful with the languaging. We don't need to be in a Cold War with China. And the last thing we need is war with China.
But you're not answering. You didn't answer my question.
We need to step back.
But this is an important question.
I don't want to see
What would you
troops.
do if they followed through on their territorial ambition to take Taiwan, our ally? What would you do?
I think that we need to do everything possible to help make that not happen. We do not need American troops in Taiwan. We do not need to be in a war with China.
I would agree with that. Now, last question. You want to replace fossil fuels. What would you replace it with today?
There is tremendous green energy possibilities, wind, solar. There are so many ways that we can compensate.
You think we can? How long would it take to make the transition?
Quickly if we invest adequately. You know, you said a few minutes ago that I wanted to get rid of American energy production. No, I don't. I want to ramp down fossil fuel energy production. I want to ramp up green energy production. We need to make a just transition from a dirty energy to a clean energy grid.
How long would that? How long, in your view, would that take?
Well, if you look at the money we spend subsidizing the oil companies, we could take that same money and subsidize the production of green energy. We are Americans. We can do whatever we want. And if we decide that we are going to make a massive transition, a just transition to a clean energy grid, you absolutely can believe it. We have the money, we have the know-how, we have the ingenuity, and we have the spirit. What we need is for Americans to be mobilized, and that is what I would do. I
promise you we cannot replace fossil fuels in the next 20 to 30 years. Impossible.
Well, we have to in order to have a habitable planet. We owe it to our children to have a habitable planet. Our planet is not fine right now, Sean.
Well, there's a lot of bad people in it, but, you know.
Well,
anyway,
what about the air?
Marianne, thank you for coming back. We appreciate the exchange. Thank you, and congratulations on your success.